Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. It's a pleasure to be here again at the Aristocrat para sa ating tapatan sa Aristocrat. Napakahalaga po ng pag-uusapan sapagkat ito po may kinalaman sa justice system at dun sa restorative justice. We invited the chairman of the House Committee on Justice, si Congressman Neil Tupas, and we're happy he made it. Narito rin po naman si Director Franklin Bucayo ng Bureau of Corrections, si Ka Rudy Diamante ng Episcopal Commission on Prison Pastoral Care. Narito rin po si Superintendent Venancio Tesoro, si Monsignor Bobby Olaguer, at si Chief Inspector Roy Valenzuela. It's been said that of the so many people in society, it's people who are in prison who are often neglected. Well, the good book says, I was naked and you gave me clothing. I was sick and you cared for me. I was in prison and you visited me. It is along this line that we will begin our discussions this morning on the importance of our focus on people in jail, because we are of the belief that there are people on the outside who should be inside and people inside who should be outside. So along that line, we will begin. Tama po ba? Yan ang simulan natin sa ating palatuntunang tapatan sa Aristocrat. Let's hear from the Honorable Congressman Neil Tupas about events at the House of Representatives as far as the justice system is concerned. Congressman, please.
Good morning, Melo. Good morning to everyone. And thank you for inviting me here in Tapatan. Actually, tomorrow there will be a launching of the two bills in Congress which I filed recently. So parang nauna lang tayo. No? I filed two bills. The first is the Criminal Investigation Act of 2013, Melo. And the second is the Philippine Code of Crimes. So the two bills are historic undertakings. It will affect not just some sectors of the society, it will affect all Filipinos. And tomorrow we invited the stakeholders together with the executive and the House of Representatives. We will gather support from members of the House as well as academe and the affected sectors. All sectors will be affected by this bill. And ang Criminal Justice, the Criminal Investigation Act, alam naman natin that we have this preliminary investigation. Diba? But under my bill, hindi na mag-assume ng quasi-judicial function ang fiscal. So, from the moment na kunyari may sa crime scene, kailangan andun na ang piskalya. Parang US, parang German models. Ibig sabihin, ang case build-up will not just be police work, but the case build-up will be under the direct control and supervision of the prosecutor together with law enforcement. In short, otherwise, sa madaling kwento, Melo, this bill, Criminal Investigation Act of 2013, fusion of law enforcement and prosecution.
Maganda yan. Congressman, baka sabihin ng ilan madadagdagan yung lalagyan.
Well, ang pinaka-problema lang natin, may layers kasi. Diba? When you file a bill, when you file a case, it goes to the fiscal. Pag 4 years plus, 4 years and 2 months and 1 day ang penalty, it goes to the fiscal. Pero ang fiscal naman, nag-assume ng quasi-judicial role, hindi niya naman yun, executive siya. Then ang problem, kahit mahina ang kaso, kung may probable cause, pupunta sa korte yon. At sa korte, madidismiss lang naman Ang dami nadidismiss. Not because hindi ka dapat-dapat, nadidismiss because mahinang case build-up. Let's face it, ang mga police, ang ating PNP is improving. May mga nag-aaral. Pero ang case build-up talagang dapat prosecution yan So dapat ang prosecution actively from day one. Para alam niya kung anong ipa-file niya dun sa korte. So, very, very important ito, Melo, because this will modernize, simplify our criminal investigation system.
Maganda po yan. Yung pong Code of Crimes.
Well,
Gaano kaiba yun?
alam mo, since our present law on crimes, we call it Código Penal or Revised Penal Code, was enacted January 1, 1932. Diba? So for 81 years, yun ang ano natin. May proliferation ng mga batas, pero hindi naman in harmony with it. And I think it's time now that we enact the Philippine Code of Crimes. It will codify all the criminal laws, including the special laws. At ngayon, natapos pa lang namin, together with the Department of Justice, and there's a Hans Seidel Foundation na tumulong sa amin, based in Germany. Natapos pa lang namin, Melo, is Book 1. 2 years in the making. Book 1 pa lang, and currently, we are working on Book 2, and already filed last week, na ila-launch tomorrow ng House, yung Book 1, which is called the Philippine Code of Crimes. This will simplify again and modernize. Very, very exciting ito dahil this is very historic.
Napakaganda nun. Pero will it get the support from your peers at the House of Representatives?
I think it will, no? I think it will, Melo, because unang-una, it will simplify yung jurisdiction. Di ba territory ang jurisdiction natin ngayon? Territorial, may transnational crimes. Iba na, parang wala ng boundaries ngayon eh. So unang-una, it will expand the jurisdiction ng criminal justice system natin. It will lower the age of the minimum age of criminal responsibility from 15, presently 15 under the Youth and Welfare Juvenile Justice Act. We will make it 13.
Uh-huh.
Wala na ngayon, di ba, yung stages ng commission of the crime?
Mm-hmm.
Di ba, merong attempted,
Mm-hmm.
frustrated, at consummated. Sometimes, naguguluhan tayo sa frustrated eh. Tatanggalin na. So, it is just the result kung na-consummate yung consummated. Kung hindi, attempted yon. Tapos, wala na ngayon, di ba, yung principal,
Mm-hmm.
accomplice, and accessory.
Uh-huh.
Wala na accomplice. Principal na lang and accessory. So, these are just some. Tapos yung double jeopardy. Diba?
Okay.
Under the Supreme Court, there's just merong exception. But now, we are trying to rationalize it na pwede na mag-appeal. Even on certain instances, pwede mag-appeal even in cases of acquittal.
Really? Aba, maganda to. At yan ay simula pa lang ng ating talakayan. Sa inyo po, sa Bureau of Corrections, how is it today? Anong mga palatuntunang mahalaga ang sinimulan ninyo?
Maraming
Director Bukayo.
salamat, Melo Acuña, sa pagkaka-invite nyo sa amin. No? Kay Congressman Tupas, kay Rudy Diamante ng CBCP, Father Olaguer.
Opo.
Monsignor Olaguer is my Chief Chaplain sa Bureau of Correction. Of course, I have with me our new Bilibid Prison Superintendent.
Uh-huh.
Superintendent Tesoro, and of course BJMP, si Attorney. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Gaya ng nasabi ni Congressman Tupas, at may papasang mga batas. Yung Kodigo Penal natin ay 1932, yung last, no? Napakatagal, ano? Kami ngayon sa Bureau of Correction. Ang Bureau of Correction was created and established in 1905, and it is already 108 years old today. Nagpapasalamat kami, lalo-lalo na rin kay Congressman Tupas sa Congress, that they passed the Bucor Modernization Law. Kapapasa lang po, I think 2 months ago or 3 months ago, ng Bucor Modernization Law. Ito yung pangalawang batas na naipasa. Meron yung unang batas, 1917. And after several years, ngayon na lang nagkaroon ng modernization law para sa Bureau of Correction. So, malaki na ang actually pinagbabago kasi ng pananaw. Nung araw ay ang tingin natin sa mga kriminal ay parang punitive in nature lang. No? Ngayon ang pananaw, na bago na ang paradigm. Isang malaking bagay na tinitignan ng Bureau of Correction ay yung reformation. So, ang laki ng ipinagbabago. Kaakibat nito, kasabay nito, ay yung naipasa pang batas din na tinatawag na good conduct time allowance ay lumaki na. From dating 5 days for the first 2 years and then 3 to 5 years, naging 8 days and so on and so forth. Ngayon, yung una, first 2 years, naging 20 days. Yung sa bagong good conduct time allowance. So lalaki yung may credit for good conduct sa ating mga inmates. So itong dalawang batas na ito na naipasa through the courtesy of the good congressman and Congress, and of course nagpapasalamat kami kay Presidente at naipasa ito, ay malaki ang magagawa nito. Unang-una nasa decongestion. Ang laki ng congestion natin sa Bureau of Correction because right now I have about 38,000 inmates.
38,000. Yung po capacity nito dapat ilan?
Napakababa po. Dito po sa NBP alone, ang capacity lang nito ay 9,000. But we have 22,000 there right now.
So paano po pagtulog nito? Rotation?
Yeah, yun nga ang magandang mababanggit ko mamaya sa inyo dahil there's a big difference in the way we keep inmates, compared to the standard na nakikita natin sa ibang jail. We keep our inmates in the Bureau of Correction en masse. Malaking building divided into dormitories. Hindi po yun nakikita natin sa mga television. And what we know as a standard na 4 inmate per jail, per cell. Hindi ho ganun ang kuha natin. And actually, maybe this was resorted to arrest the congestion. Yeah, yun ang sitwasyon natin. So, yun po yung ating sitwasyon ngayon dito sa ating Bureau of Correction.
Nako. Pero alam po ninyo mga kaibigan, totoo yung kanta na what a difference a day makes. Dahil pag ang hatol sa iyo below 6 years, pwede kang mag-probation. Pero pag naging 6 years and 1 day, hawla ka na. Kaya that's what a difference a day makes. 24 little hours it may seem, pero hawla yun either in or out So most likely talagang hawla ka pag over 6 years. Sa BJMP po, how is it today? Ano ang sitwasyon? Meron na ba kayong mga bagong piitan?
Good morning, Kuya Melo and mga sirs. Same problem po with Bucor, except that we're worse. Mas worse yung situation sa amin. At present, ang congestion problem namin is 350%. And that means yung isa pong space, which is supposed to be 4.7 square meters per inmate, is occupied by 4.5. And
Bakit po 4.5? Yung isa, hindi babae, hindi lalaki.
ano po kasi, because of 350% yung congestion, so plus 1 yun, that's 450%
Okay.
occupancy.
Okay.
So dapat isa lang, so 4 na at kalahati ang laman ng space na yon. And ang inmate po namin ngayon is about 72,000 plus. And yung congestion po naman is varied because ang dami namin mga jail units all over the country, yung mga jails namin. But our trust actually is decongestion din po kasi kahit po anong pondo ang ibigay ng government, very difficult na makakope ang government sa demand for more space, for more buildings. When it's more plausible, mas practical po na tulungan na lang silang makalabas. And with the passage po ng mga bagong batas, papasalamat po kami kina Sir sa pagpapasa ng mga bagong batas na to, mas madali na pong magpalaya ng mga inmates ngayon than before. And with that decongestion, magagawa na po namin yung aming mission na humane safekeeping and development, which is otherwise impossible under the current situation dahil how can we speak of humane safekeeping kung wala nga pong sufficient space para matulugan nila.
Okay. Kabene, how would you compare your Davao Penal Colony with that of NBP?
Mel, good morning. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. Congressman Neil, Director Bukayo, the rest of the guests. Ang Davao Penal Colony is different from the rest of all penal establishment in the sense that
Pakilapit lang po lang konti. Yan, okay.
Davao Penal Colony is different from the rest of all the penal establishments in the country basically because it has no gangs. And comparatively speaking, of all jails in the entire archipelago. So that makes a little big difference, matter of fact.
Walang gang.
Walang gang.
So walang tribu-tribu rito.
Wala.
Okay.
In other words, there is no way by which administrator will hinder all his activities, and basically the administrator is in full control of everything.
Pero how true is it that there are people na ayaw nang lumabas nung Davao Penal Colony because they're satisfied with what's going on?
Oo, that's right, Melo. May tinatawag tayong escape from freedom over there at Davao Penal Colony. While it is true that there is even one instance, a female, because we have a female facility over there. When I announced to the prison community that one of the female inmates will be released a day later, she literally doused herself with kerosene and ignited herself. Had it not for her fellow inmates in the area na dinamba siya and doused the flame
Kerosene,
off,
oo.
she could have died instantly. I mean that alone could speak a large impression already that most of the inmates there would rather stay in prison rather than be subjected to the elements outside.
Yeah. Pero gaano katotoo, Director Bukayo, si General Garcia would not want to be transferred anywhere else except doon na lang sa NBP.
Maaari po. Dahil sabi ko kanina, yung sa atin dun sa NBP hindi standard, no? When I say standard is I'm talking about a cell composed of 5 or 4 person, no? Dito sa atin, meron tayong malalaking buildings divided into dormitories. In the evening, the inmates sleep there. In the morning, they just roam around. They roam around. Parang I have a little town inside. No, so medyo may freedom to move. At medyo nakakaalis din to ng boredom, ano? Actually, advantage sa inmate yung ganong setup. But of course, it has also a lot of downside, no?
Yeah. Okay. Karudi, what have you been doing sa CBCP Episcopal Commission on Prison Pastoral Care lately?
Good morning. Good morning, Melo. Good morning po sa mga guests na nandito. The commission has been in existence since 1975, no? At kami po ay we're trying to augment the services being offered by the government. In other words, para nako-concentrate into what is lacking, providing the services, particularly dun sa spiritual formation. That is why we are organizing mga volunteers in prison para po katulong at katuwang ng mga nagtatrabaho sa bilangguan. But as we go along, we discovered that the problem is very much systemic. Na may problema sa sistema ng pagbibigay ng katarungan sa ating bansa, no? The entire system, from the time of the arrest up to the time na lumabas, merong problema yung sistema. Kinikilala yan ng gobyerno ng mga nakaraan, pero hindi nabigyan ng pansin kung paano talaga lulutasin yung problema, no? Pagpasok dun sa sistema. What we're happy about now, Melo, ngayon, parang ang daming nag-concentration si Pinoy, siguro dahil na rin sa mga events, into how to go about addressing the problem sa jails, no? The late Secretary Robredo gave emphasis into that, no? Nung siya ay DILG Secretary, Tapos ito, si Secretary Laila de Lima, when she was appointed, because she was before working with us sa Commission on Human Rights, nabigyan ng tuon yung Bucor. Okay, yung entire system naman, kasi ang utak ni Pinoy para nakikita namin mahilig sa problema ng system. Kaya we're happy with the isinusulong natin. It's about time na ma-revise yung revised penal code. Tawag revised penal code 1932 pa, no? Yun yung pinaka blueprint into delivering justice. Ang pagbibigay ng hustisya ay nakatuon doon sa revised penal code. Whatever will Bucor, BJMP, and other jails, the provincial jails, yun yung sinusunod. At ang pananaw nitong code na ito ay very punitive. In other words, it's exacting pain, no? Because the person has inflicted pain. So pain to pain. Ngayon, ang CBCP Commission on Prison Pastoral Care has been advocating since the year 2000 because of the call of Vienna, United Nations, the Vienna Declaration, na sinasabi, it's about time na we change the system. Kasi yung system natin, pareho ng sistema halos sa buong mundo Pinattern lang natin after that. That is about time that we consider changing the system and considering more restorative. In a nutshell, yung restorative ay imbis na titignan mo lang yung wrong act of the person, concentrate on how to go about repairing the harm. Okay, restoring once more yung yung nasira, to repair the damage. Hindi yung papasok mo sa system para isang kotse, dapat paglabas ng kotse, medyo in good condition. I think you will agree with me na pag ang bilanggo, from the time lang o kasahan lang hindi pa na-convict, wasak na yung pagkatao niya at wasak na yung kanyang kinabukasan.
Partly to blame doon yung media.
Oo, yun.
Diba?
Yung pagpipicture ng media, di ba? Minsan, ang laki ng niya. Sila pa yung nanggagatong, you might say.
Sapukin mo sapukin mo. Kukuha ng picture.
Ginagatungan. Kasi mas merong ganon, mas
Mas makulay.
mas news. Ito nga, itong pinag-uusapan natin, hindi ito news Di ba? Okay, Bucor Modernization Act, pero mas i-cover nila yung may tumakas, may namatay, isang incident, hindi nakikita yung magandang mga nangyayari. May nag-escape out of the 70,000 prisoner, di ba? May 10 nag-escape. Ang headline, mapabaya ang Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Parang ganun, yung masyadong sensationalized. Yung good news like this, I don't know how many will be attending the launching of this criminal code, no? Yung tanong mo nga, may susuporta ba dito? Well, isa kami sa susuporta niya kasi sinususog namin. Although meron pa kaming comment dito when it was discussed.
Kaya may hearing
Kaya may hearing.
Okay.
And we will make our position clear as far as this is concerned. Kasi dapat uso na ngayon, hindi lang dito sa ibang bansa yung tinatawag na diversion, no? Ida-divert alternatives to imprisonment. The United Nations Tokyo Rules 1990 pa ho yun, has been asking na magkaroon tayong alternatives to imprisonment. Hanggang ngayon, wala.
Pero malaking binaba ng bill sa kuryente ng NBP na mawala yung silya electrica, di ba? Di ba? Nawala yun, pero lethal injection na. Hanggang sa nawala yung death
dapat
penalty.
lang yun. Kukunan din ng litrato kasi merong mga gusto pang i-revive yun. Di ba? Meron pa sa Kongreso, despite the fact that we are a signatory to the optional protocol sa civil political, hindi parang may mga congressman pa rin at mga senador na balik ang parusang bitay. Basta merong isang insidente na medyo na sensationalized, isa lang yun Minsan parang unfair, di ba?
Okay. Monsignor Bobby Olaguer, kayo nakakasama ng mga nalilital injection curious lang ako, sina Etchegaray at iba pa, without breaking the seal of confession, how does it feel to be escorting a man that you will know will die? And how would you console him and his family? Wouldn't that be as traumatic as that of the person?
Gandang umaga po sa lahat. Talking about that history of our death penalty, I've been with 7 executions. And sa tanong mo, Melo, kung paano ko sila kinokonsole, I think, first of all, I have to console myself. No, sarili ko kinokonsole ko. Pero nakikita namin yung magandang, mas malalim na pananaw na we are not sending this guy to death, but we are sending him to a new life, a life that this world cannot give. Hindi natin siya dadalhin sa kamatayan, kundi dadalhin natin siya sa isang bagong buhay na hindi talaga mapapala sa Pilipinas o kahit sa anong bahagi ng mundong ito. Yun ang consolation doon. Another thing is sabi mo nga, without breaking the seal of confession, kung titignan natin, kung sa kasalanan, talagang may kasalanan. Lahat naman tayo may kasalanan. Pero ang nakikita ko nga ngayon with the abolition of death penalty, nakikita ko doon sa ating bagong batas at maging sa Bureau of Corrections na ina-apply natin yung justice, but we temper this justice with mercy. Halimbawa, sa Bureau of Corrections, talagang gustong-gustong ma-implement ng ating beloved Director Bukayo na yung rehabilitation and reformation program would start and would go on. Ano itong mga rehabilitation program na to? Meron tayo siyempre medical and health welfare. Isang division yan. Moral and spiritual. Meron tayong sports and recreation. No, meron tayong education, livelihood, behavior modification. Lahat yan, isa-isang departamento yan na magsasabi sa atin na ang bilangguan ay hindi lamang sinisimbolize ng susi, ng baril o ng batuta, security, but also reformation and rehabilitation. And hindi lang yan sa Bureau of Corrections, sa batas din ganun, kasi binago na nga natin yung good conduct time allowance na dati po pag nabilanggo ng actual of 10 years, ang bilang dati doon 14 years. Pero sa bagong batas, Republic Act 105-772, ang mangyayari, yung pagkakulong mo ng 10 years, ang bilang ngayon 17 years. No? Basta meron kang good conduct time allowance na kapag ang isang bilanggo maayos naman ang kanyang pakikitungo at nag-join siya sa mga nabanggit kong rehabilitation program, mag-enjoy siya ng good conduct time allowance, yung 10 taon ang bilang no 17 years na yon. Mabilis siya lalaya.
Okay. Congressman, I just don't know whether you are of the opinion that death penalty should be restored because accordingly, the Philippine National Police said crime volume has gone down, but we still hear of heinous crimes. How do you look at this move to restore the death penalty?
There are some members of Congress that are in favor of restoring it with respect to heinous crimes. Only with respect to that. Pero ako naman, Melo, no, tingnan mo yung system na muna natin. Look at our criminal justice system. Yung mga nakukulong ba dyan at nakukonvict, talaga may kasalanan ba yan? Maraming hindi eh. So, I see as chairman of the Committee on Justice, I see the flaws of the justice system. At luging-lugi ka kung wala kang pera eh. Diba? Sa system natin as it is now eh. And yung mga nakukulong, nakikita ko yung mga walang pangbayad sa abogado, yung wala silang resources.
O ibinenta ng abogado.
Or binenta. Or nabili ang fiscal, or nabili ang huwes. And for us to restore ang death penalty sa isang very, very defective criminal system is worst. That's why I'm not in favor.
Congressman, how do you look at scenarios or actual events when you have a policeman, Fuera de los Buenos, sabi nila sa Bicol, na sila na yung law enforcer, sila pa yung prosecution, sila pa yung judge, at sila pa yung executioner. I'm referring to those na nangaagaw ng baril while in detention, you know?
Yes.
How do you look at it?
Well, talagang sama niyan. Wala nang mas masama pa dyan, Melo. No? And that's why, kaya nga we are passing laws, di ba? But still, yung enforcement, di ba? Implementation of these laws. One example, we talked about congestion. Kasi kahit nga nung we were interviewing after the impeachment, when we interviewed the applicants for the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, I asked them, ang una-una nilang problema, yung aside from clogged dockets, yung congestion sa mga kulungan natin. But recently, we passed this law. We called it the Recognizance Act. Committee on Justice. May nakakaalam ba nito? Recognizance Act. We passed the Recognizance Act a few months ago, basically to decongest our prison or detention facilities. Alam mo, basta hindi life imprisonment, pwede ka nang mag-apply eh. And it's like a matter of right. Diba? Pag hindi mataas ang penalty, it's a matter of right na under recognizance ka, you will be released recognizance sa isa sa mga miyembro, sa good member sa community as long as may approval and endorsement of the Sangguniang Bayan or the City Council. Na-implement ba ito ngayon? Kasi may pumupunta sa opisina ko, Congressman, pwede ba tayo magpasa ng recognizance bill? Napasa na ngayon LODA eh. So, my point is, yung criminal justice system natin, for me, it's one of the worst systems in the world. Having gone to a lot of places, comparing it with other countries. Talagang 1932, wala pa equality of sexes noon. 'Di ba? Wala pa mga 1932 at revised penal code. Penal code, ibig sabihin punitive lang. Sabi nga, 'di ba? Punitive pero wala yung transformation and reintegration. Revised. Bakit revised? 'Di ba? It should be a code. That's why very very timely itong Philippine Code of Crimes. And I hope na maraming sectors talaga ang tumulong. At this is just a work in progress. Kaya lahat ng sectors, even before the committee hearing, we will ask them to give their comments.
Yeah.
Kaya para mabilis tayo dito kasi ang tingin ko dito, Melo, with the national elections coming 2016, Congress will work not for 3 years now. We will work for only 2 years. Because the last year
Is
will
for campaign.
be politics.
Uh-huh.
So we only have 2 years to pass Philippine Book of Crimes and the Criminal Investigation Act.
Congressman, without necessarily putting down members of the House of Representatives, do you think a good majority of them would understand the reasons why you have these proposals?
Alam mo, there are about 60 lawyers. 60 out of 282.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they know the law. Yung mga non-lawyers naman, I'm sure they know kung yung obsolete na batas na. 'Di ba meron pang theft of coconut eh. Meron pang challenge to a duel. Meron pang the prostitution provision will be a hot issue under this, no? Like ang prostitution now, it's it's a crime but yung tingin naman natin sa modern times na parang victims sila ng society. So there will be a lot of provisions that will be hotly debated under this. Yeah, cybercrime.
Yeah. Masaya pala ito, no? You can be accused and found guilty of theft of coconuts but not the coconut levy. Right?
yan.
Right? Okay. Maganda po 'yun.
Pero alam mo, Melo, these bills, no, this is as big as the impeachment. Not as sensationalized, but to me personally, this is as big because this will affect all of us.
You know, I saw a good friend, Nandi Pacheco. He's with the Gunless Society. Don't you think it's also about time for Congress to pass a law that would prohibit the carrying of firearms outside of residence?
Malaki ang lobby against that lobby group. No? So that's
Nakita ko si Nandi, nandyan eh.
that's another issue, no. Na talagang it would take another topic. It's another topic.
Yeah.
Diba, malaking issue rin yan, yung gun control in the Philippines.
Yeah, okay. Director Bukayo, sa inyo po bang karanasan bilang law enforcer noong araw, yung bang death penalty is a deterrent to crimes, to heinous crimes?
Probably to some degree. Yeah.
To some degree.
Some degree.
But not everything.
Hindi palagi. Kasi nakita naman natin ngayon at meron namang napiprevent. Basta tama, kasi kaya nga tawag natin criminal justice system. Tumakbo ng mahusay yung sistema. Yun na nga yata yung kinokorek nila, Congressman, yung criminal justice system. Mahusay ang law enforcement, mahusay ang prosecution, mahusay ang korte. Tama ang tinakbo. Oo. Kasi isa lang dito, magkaroon ng flaws, medyo natitrigger na yung epekto ng criminal justice. Hindi na tayo nakapagbibigay ng tama. Kaya sinasabi natin at palagi nating naririnig yan, marami talagang nakukulong na hindi naman talaga sila nagkasala.
Rudy, would you care to react to the discussions?
Yung stand namin sa death penalty talagang hindi kami papabor doon, no. In fact, doon sa meron tayong bagong hindi naman bago. Merong isang grupo ngayon na nagwo-work into wrongful conviction, no? Yung Project Innocence Group, no? Na dino-document namin yung mga wrongful conviction because of the lack of for example, material evidence at that time, yung DNA, ngayon may DNA na. So yun, no, merong grupo mostly from the University of the Philippines, no? At kami nga kasama doon ang Coalition Against Death Penalty. I don't know if you have seen the movie, the documentary Give Up Tomorrow. It documents the case of Paco Laraniaga, who allegedly was wrongfully convicted. Up until now, he is still confined dun sa Spain, no? At ang reason kung bakit nandoon pa siya ay dahil ang isang hinihingi sa kanya para makalaya siya ay aminin niya na ginawa niya yung krimen. Hindi talaga niya matanggap kahit na ang kapalit noon ay freedom niya na ginawa niya yung krimen. And this is the topic ng Give Up Tomorrow, no? Beautiful documentary na pinalabas na rin dito sa Pilipinas, pinalabas all over the world, that prompted the organization of the Project Innocence Group, no?
Hindi pa ako nakakabili raw sa kaibigan kong Muslim sa Quezon City niya.
Meron, wala nun, baka wala nun. Sa Pulibook, sorry to advertise that, sa Pulibook store meron pong binibentang DVD no?
Okay, pupunta ako.
Panoorin po ninyo yun. No? Maganda po yung documentary yun.
Monsignor Olaguer, meron na ba kayong nakitang lumaya after some time due to good conduct at talagang maayos ang buhay ngayon?
Yes, Melo, dapat kasama ko nga ngayon. Inintay ko kanina at dumating naman pero sabi niya, dala-dala niya yung taxi niya, kailangan daw maghanap buhay, nag-excuse. Lumaya siya, ang apelyido niya ay Kabahar. Isa Muslim, pero naging kaibigan ko dahil una-una naging estudyante siya doon sa education section namin. Doon ko siya naging kaibigan. And because of good conduct time allowance, he should be serving life sentence. Because of good conduct time allowance, lumaya siya. Ngayon nagdadrive na siya ng taxi.
Okay. At
Success
maayos ang
story.
hanap buhay.
Success story.
What about the Manero brothers?
Si Edelberto Manero ay nando sa Pulumulok at binigyan siya ng DENR ng isang area na kanyang pangangalagaan against poachers, against illegal loggers, at is in constant contact with me.
Okay. Ito yung inihatid ninyo ron, ano?
Si Edelberto. Kasi
Si
yung
Edelberto.
isa ay si Norberto, yung yung Norberto yung mas matindi.
Si Commander something.
Commander. Pero si Edelberto yung kapatid niya is doing good.
Yeah, pareho nyo naging sakristan yun, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. And nung nasa loob sila, kumusta naman sila?
Actually, hindi naman sila talaga anti-government. Hindi sila anti-God, no? In fact, ayaw nila ng merong naaapi, ayaw nila ng may nang aapi. Yun ang parang nakita kong basa ko sa kanila.
Okay, pero ngayon they're doing well.
Yes, si Norberto Manero is yung parang nagbebenta ng lupa, broker, ganon. Broker. Oo.
So maayos na.
Okay.
Okay.
Another
Dahil-
success stories.
Dahil kung di
no?
ako nagkakamali, may isa rin sa magkapatid na ang unang ginawa ay nagtungo sa libing ni Father Favali at humingi ng tawad.
Yes, oo. sila lahat, ano kasi nung lumaya sila, hindi sabay-sabay. Pero ang una nilang ginagawa ay pumupunta dun sa puntod ni Father Bali, nag-offer ng flowers, ng prayers, humingi ng tawad. As per my advice. Sorry.
Pero okay yun. Okay yun. Dahil that's something. You don't expect that from hardened people. Yung mga may pusong bato, right? Diba?
Meron din naman mga pusong mamon, Melo.
Aha. Meron pa rin. Okay. Pero sa Davao, ano ang sitwasyon? Meron din ho bang mga ganitong pagkakataon? Meron ba kayo masasabing success stories?
Marami ho, pero right now I am in charge of New Bilibid Prison. So 2 weeks ago I got my baptism of my baptism of fire sa Cadabero incident. Kaya right now my hands are full as far as running the New Bilibid Prison under, of course, the supervision of the new director.
Mahirap din ang trabaho nyo talaga. Nakakatulog po ba kayo dyan? Okay naman?
May mga media na nagsabi sa akin, Superintendent Tesoro, paano ba hawakan ng New Bilibid Prison? Sabi ko sa kanya, 22,000 prisoners ang meron kami dyan. Sa umaga pagising mo, start counting 1 to 22,000. And before you sleep, count 1 to 22,000. That's it. You just merely count. Hindi ka pa nagsusupervise.
Sa bagay, ang natatandaan ko you don't count the sheep daw You talk to the shepherd. Yes.
Total pinag-uusapan natin yung release, di ba? Aftercare. Kung mayroong mga nagbago and all those things. Kanina kausap ko si Director, pinag-usapan namin yung aftercare program. At sana, Congressman, meron kayong staff na ma-commission to drop a bill para sa aftercare ng ating mga released prisoners. Kasi yung number one problem, even with the BJMP, no? Ayun, mga post-release, anong mangyayari sa kanila? Kasi may stigma na talaga pagka whether you have been convicted or you have been acquitted, basta pumasok ka dun sa system natin, bigla kang lumabas, ang number one problema mo ay paano mabuhay. At ang of course, walang statistics kung bumabalik sila doon sa paggawa uli ng masama. Ang laging conclusion ng media, pag may nahuli, marami recidivist. Pero I would like to question that kasi wala namang pag-aaral talaga kung nangyayari pagka ang isang bilanggo ay lumaya na. Sa karanasan lang namin, ang number one na problema talaga nila is paano yung livelihood. Kukuha nga lang minsan ng police clearance, no? Tsaka NBI clearance, malaki ng problema. Although sa ngayon, parang hindi na masyadong inaano yun. Ang ginagawa ng ating mga tao, para na sa ganun, minsan nagbabago sila ng identity, which is not good, just to be able to employ themselves. But I think it's about time that we address the problem not only of those while they are inside, but also look into the problem of after-release care, no? Yung after-release program. And this is where I think we can commission, baka kailangan talagang isabatas ito, kasi kung gagawa lamang ng mga memorandum circular, executive order, parang hindi masyadong pinapansin, no? We have engaged the SWD along this line and also some of the barangays, parang hindi talaga nabibigyan ng pansin yung aftercare. Even yung sa biktima, kulang pa rin tayo ng programa para doon sa mga naging biktima ng krimen. Kaya very bitter sila. Ang gusto lamang nila mangyari tuloy ngayon, wag na lang lumabas sa kulungan yung mga bilanggo. Kasi nga walang aftercare program din doon sa mga victims of crime. No? So it's about time we look into this aftercare program for the prisoners and aftercare program dun sa mga biktima.
Yes, Congressman.
Yan, na-mention kasi
Maganda yan. Sige po.
Maganda yun yung aftercare, no? Makikita natin yun nga ko, yung kasama yun sa the whole criminal justice system, which includes yung reintegration to society, Melo. Madadagdag ang trabaho ko niyan kasi
Pero okay lang yan. Kaya yan.
marami tayong mga bills yan, naka-line up na nga. At as I mentioned, we only have 2 years to work, no? Not 3 years this time. To be practical about it. Gusto ko lang balikan, Melo, yung dito sa yung inmate facilities natin.
Yes,
For
please.
example, yung NBP. During the last Congress, 2 beses kami pumunta dyan. The whole Committee on Justice. Pumunta kami ng Palawan. Pumunta kami sa Women's Correctional in
Mandaluyong.
Mandaluyong. Pero doon talaga sa NBP ako na-shock ako doon sa pagpunta ko doon. Nakapunta ka na doon, Melo, doon sa maximum.
Opo. Sa
maximum.
Max. Doon kami sa Max.
Doon talaga, na-shock ako doon sa facilities, yung condition nila. Yung time na yun, grabe pa yung gang noon eh. Yung kubul system, yung living out privilege. Parang it's like a whole system talaga pangit na sistema.
Parang whole system gone wrong.
Whole system gone wrong. That's correct, no? And this Congress, even with, hopefully there'll be no impeachment. Hopefully. So that we can concentrate on this landmark legislation. But aside from this, we're planning to tour the facilities again of the Bureau of Corrections. Including, aside from Bureau of Corrections, yung BGMP gusto namin tingnan. Kaya we will find out, Melo, kung ano na improvements, no? With the new director, the new superintendent. Ilang beses na nag-change ng director dyan, ilang incidents na dyan. Diba? Ilang incidents na nangyari. And I hope there'll be improvements with the passage of the modernization law of Bucor na ang problema nung pala noon ay budget. Dahil we passed it, Melo, we passed it.
Yeah, but Congressman, come within the next couple of months, you'll be defending the budget of the Department of Justice, right?
Yes, but I was informed by the director, the Bureau of Corrections, that we passed it 3 to 4 months ago yung modernization. Pero yung budget hindi atin nasali for next year. Na late yung approval. It was approved already. It's now a law yung Bureau of Corrections modernization. But the budget, so we will talk about it. No, we will inquire. We will monitor its implementation and kasali na doon yung budget.
Yeah, because I heard there was a senator yata na nagsabi na the budget was really prepared very well dahil pati yung tatakas 89 lang naka-budget doon. Para I saw something in the papers na ganun ka-detailed yung
yeah, pero yung
prepared
modernization na hindi ata na according kay director hindi na isali.
So by the time it gets to have the money, the appropriations, it's no longer modern. Ganun po ba yun?
Ganun yun. Kasi alam mo, Melo, alam mo naman how yung budget, di ba? Ang budget is after the SONA, after opening of Congress, within 30 days, the President should submit the executive budget. But pero ginagawa nila, the day after.
Day after.
Which means na first quarter pa lang of 2013, ginagawa na yung budget for 2014. At by June, final na By July, submit na sa amin. Kaya hindi siguro ito na naisali lang.